thanks for jumping on. For anyone that doesn't know, when we start to actually launch this properly, tell us about you, man. I want to hear about you. I want to hear what you're up to and what you're doing in Arizona, and um, yeah, as much as you can squeeze into a few minutes or thereabouts.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I'm obviously out on the LPGA caddying. I caddy for a girl, Gemma Dryborough, who is the number one Scottish female golfer. I think she might be the only one at the moment that's doing anything, but she is the number one. And yeah, I've been out on the LPGA now been out here for what, 8 years. Been caddying for no, I've been out in 9 years. Been caddying for 12.
Mm.
And yeah, just going about daily business every week when we've got an event. I'll be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Awesome, mate. And so, I mean, your background, I'm assuming, is golf. So you must be somewhat of an okay golfer. Um, how'd you get into caddying?
so let me try and work this out. So I was playing pretty, I have to say, decent standard. Like comparatively to the people I played against, I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But I did my PGA back in when I was 23, 24. So it'd have been like
Okay.
2013, 2014.
Yep.
And the guy that I worked for, he managed a girl on the LET.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he used to get a sponsorship and stuff like that. And I knew her, I'd play golf with her. And
Mm.
so she was struggling with sorry about that, so I'm going to pass on the mic. So she was struggling with the yips at the time. And I basically got asked, could you go and just not give her a good time, but help her enjoy being on a golf course again?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
I sort of was like, well, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not doing anything else, right? Like, I was doing a bit of coaching here and there and working in a coffee shop and doing what you would do when you're 23. Um, and yeah, so we got asked to do that. And I was supposed to do 2 weeks, which turned into 3 weeks. So we did the Scottish Open, we came fifth, played the British Open the week after, came 15th. And then we went to Prague and we won. And I thought it was the easiest job I've ever done. So I was like, this is pretty incredible. Like, and because I was on holiday, I mean, I remember we were in this small place outside Prague called Pilsen, and I was going out every night. I'm going and drinking. I'm like, this is just amazing. Like, I'm just on holiday. That wore off,
Yeah.
but yeah. So just got into it, and then it's one of them jobs where if you can get on board with the lifestyle, it's very
Mm.
easy to get stuck doing it because you start doing anything else,
Yeah.
never really matches up. I mean, I always say to people, like I go when I'm back at home, right? I go and work in my friend's bar, and I help him out, and I do other odd jobs, and just to kind of because I get bored otherwise. And
Yeah.
everyone goes, "How do you enjoy doing these jobs so much?" I'm like, "Because I don't actually do these jobs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the job I do is something I legitimately love doing, and would like to do it forever." Right? Like
Yeah.
I'm very very privileged in that sense.
Yeah. Lovely. Um, and again, I guess with you and I connecting and solos connecting with you, um, we're excited to bring you on, I guess, as our LPGA correspondent,
Yeah.
um, where we're going to check in with you when we can find time or when you can find time during your very hectic schedule
Mm-hmm.
to just essentially catch up. And like, I mean, for me personally, I'm so interested in learning about your journey, your experiences as a player and then into a caddy. Um, and also what's happening on the LPGA because I mean for me it's not overly documented from what I see unless I'm actually making the effort to go and find where the LPGA has been actually screened, etc. So we're excited to have you on board and get you involved. Now, I mean you mentioned about I guess getting used to the life of a caddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, has a good book title to it actually. Just solos is all about the product side is very much about innovation and forward thinking about bringing really great products to market. But our pillar around mental health is becoming very, very important. And I've shared my stories about my own journey and what's happened in my life to get to, I guess, being involved with solos. One of
Mm-hmm.
the co-founders, Ollie, he's also just recently shared his own journey where he had a surfing accident in Bondi Beach and nearly didn't make it either. I'm keen to understand, how do you deal with, I guess, the mental side of, because you are away from home, you're away from the UK, you're
Mm-hmm.
traveling here and there. How do you go about that?
Do you know, it, it's strange, right? Like you just get used to it. And
Yeah.
by that, I mean, so like my wife lives in the UK. She's actually American, but she lives in the UK. And we always say one of the best parts about our relationship is that I go away. Because I think, well, might be because she doesn't like me that much, but it's also because there's an element of, like she says, when you're at home all the time with someone, you don't learn, you don't miss them, right?
Yeah.
She went, as well, when you go away, every 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, I miss him again.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting life. It's not for everyone. There's a lot of moving parts, but
Mm.
the longer I've done it, the more people around the world that I've met, that I've connected with, that I then stay with, that I go and see, and so you almost end up becoming, you like have like a world family, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as woke as that sounds, it's
Mate, no, I mean, I think there's certain sports that do that, and I mean, you're very, I guess, from my view, privileged to be have an opportunity to travel around the world and be on golf courses. Um, but even things like, I mean, I look at, say, rugby, and growing up playing rugby and meeting people around the world, and playing some and coaching in the UK from New Zealand and whatnot. You build these global relationships, and it's it's enjoyable being able to go to parts of the world and actually connecting with people that you probably haven't seen in 6, 12 months or maybe longer, and
yeah,
um, it becomes a family, doesn't it? As you said.
yeah, yeah. And like this week, I'm very lucky. This week, I stay with friends of mine who have been
Yeah,
friends for 10 years, and they always. And the thing I said to them, I was like, I sometimes feel bad because we don't talk that much during the year, but I always think people know what I do. They know that I'm here, there, and everywhere. It's not easy just to talk to me. I mean, you've tried to talk to me for 2 days and you've managed just about to do it, right? And and that's what I say. I say, but what I've always sort of defined my friendships as is we don't have to talk all the time, but when we do talk, it's like we've not missed a beat, right?
yeah,
And that's what I have with a lot of people in every place I go to, right? You get people that I stay with that message me, "Oh, you did great this week." And I'm thinking like, "All right, cool." Like, you know, we might have made a double at the end, and you're like, well, it wasn't that great, but okay, I appreciate your support. And you feel bad because you don't speak to them, but
yeah,
I think they all know that it's like, all right, we know that you care about us. You don't need to speak to us. And I think because the way the world is now with social media and with all these outlets where people can pretty much watch your life,
mm,
it's easy for people to still like feel like they're always connected to you
yeah,
rather than, as I'm sure back in the day, if you didn't see someone for 6 months, you wouldn't know what was going on with them. You wouldn't know if they
yeah,
were even alive, right? You'd be like, oh,
mm,
well, I don't know. I don't see that person anymore. As when now
yeah,
you can keep up. So it's probably easier for me now than it would have been years ago because everyone
mm,
they just follow along and they're like, oh, you're standing somewhere horrible again. Lovely, good, really pleased for you.
yeah.
It's it's a weird world, but it's a good fun. Like the caddies, the nice thing for me is the caddies that I have I mean, there are a lot of them are my closest friends. They are they're always going to stay the same. It's the players that change.
How do they all manage their own, I guess,
It
daily
depends. Like
routines and all that? And
you've got a variety, right? So we always say so. The Ladies European Tour is a bit like it's more of a social group
yeah,
in the way that the girls all hang around together, the caddies all hang around with the players. You come out
yeah,
here and it's a little bit more business, right? The LPGA is a lot more. There's a lot more money in it. So you've got girls from Japan, they bring over a team of 3 people. You've got girls from Korea. Nearly every girl who comes from Korea brings their own manager with them, like
wow,
personal road manager. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, you just have someone do everything for you, orders your food, does your laundry. Like, what? You just play golf. And
yeah,
so as caddies, you go around and we've got. It usually ends up being language-based friendship groups, I suppose. Now
yep,
most people obviously speak English, right?
yeah,
But you'll have a lot of the Australian guys will hang out together. A lot of
yep,
the like Southern American guys, like as in people from Alabama, Georgia, they hang around together.
Right.
And then you've got the European guys that we kind of all end up just hanging out to, because the reality is Europeans usually like football. The guys who live in the South of America like college football, and the Asian guys, they like what they like, right? And so you kind of just end up in these weird groups
Yeah.
that you travel alone, but you travel with loads of people all at the same time. So,
Yeah.
I flew a flight here from San Jose, had no idea anyone else saw my flight, and then I got off my flight and there was 8 people on it, and I was like, "Oh, hi guys!" Like, didn't even know you were on it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, we didn't see you when we got on either."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, apologies."
Awesome, man. Mate, so I guess moving forward, where are we at the moment? We're in Arizona. What's
Arizona,
on
yeah.
the old LPGA or what's on the LPGA schedule this week?
So we've got Arizona, which is the 4 championship this week, which is a repeat of last year's event. The girl actually who won last week won here last year, Hyoju Kim. So we just got to try and beat her. And then next week we've got the Aramco Ladies something or other, which is in Las Vegas at Shadow Creek. So that's going to be very interesting, because Shadow Creek is not a golf course for stroke play,
Right.
especially for the girls. So that could be, I don't want to say embarrassing for some people, but last time we were there, I think the cut was +8 or +9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone looks at it and goes, "Well, when the men played the Zozo, they shot 24 under." I'm like, "Yeah, because that was in October, and we're playing in the desert in March. Like, there's not
Right.
no."
And I guess that's the benefit of being a caddy, is that it's your job to know this.
Yeah,
That's
I
literally
mean,
why you're there.
yeah, correct. And it's yeah. So that's going to be interesting, but it's a good event, and we'll have fun there. And then then after that we've got a week off before, which is obviously Masters week. And then we have LA and Chevron, which is the first major of the season. So
Yeah.
busy.
I've got one question. I think Nelly Cord is probably number 2 or number 3 at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I
Number
think she's
2.
number 2 as well, Jet.
From a caddy's perspective, I guess I'm going to pinpoint on her because everyone does know her globally. What is she doing so well to be, I guess, so consistent in terms of her play?
Um, so something that people don't probably realize in the female game, especially, is like physical attributes are a huge thing.
Yeah.
So if you go to a PGA Tour event, every guy there is probably somewhat between 5'11" and 6'4".
Right.
Right? They're big guys. They all hit it kind of the same distance.
Yeah.
So when you've got a girl that comes out that her dad won the Australian Open tennis.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And her as a quarter, he won for what country was for the Czech Republic. So he's a major tennis winner. And you
Yeah.
got the mum that was also, I think she was some kind of athlete as well. You just produce these super athletes.
Yeah.
Like Nelly and her sister are both over 6 foot. They're both incredibly talented golfers. I mean, their brother just beat Alcaraz in the tennis like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you're not just looking at like, oh, why is she really good? It's like, I mean, there's some genetics that really help there. And that's what you find in the women's game, because of the disparity in how far they hit it. Like the shortest girl on tour is a girl, probably Yuna Nishimura, I would say, who probably does that. She flies it maybe 205, 210 off the tee.
Yep.
You then compare that to Anelli, who flies it 265 off the tee. Like, it's so much easier to be consistent if you can hit it 50 to 60 yards further than the shortest girl on tour.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And so there's that. But the girl, like, it's funny because everyone knows Nelly, right? She's blonde hair, blue eyes, tall. She's American. She's got everything going for her. Competitively, I still like, you look at the world number 1 that we've got right now in Aya or Gino Titico. Like, no one can lace her boots, and she's 5'4". She's got an unbelievable amount of hip turn in her golf swing. Like, just hits this thing, and it's you see her and you go, wow, and she's not even a good finisher, and you just go,
Yeah.
wow, he's just that much better than all of us. So it's hard. It's hard to kind of always pinpoint with the girls, but put it this way: if Nelly's putters on, you struggle to beat her,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she kind of showed that last week in where was I, in San Francisco. Like she started holding some putts and she started coming at the
Yeah.
leaders, and she
Yeah.
didn't quite probably have enough time.
Yeah.
If there had been another 9 holes, Nelly probably wins.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that helps her is almost certainly though is genetics.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. One minute quickly, Bella. Swimmers on now, please. We're about to go in 5 minutes, please. We're actually going to leave in five. Okay, we're going to leave in 5 minutes. I'm going to put this on the recording as well because I want to showcase. You know what? It's hard work being a father and having to have these calls
It's amazing.
5 minutes 5 minutes before. This is perfect content, mate. Just quickly. Like I said, we're rushing through this, but it's more or less just an introduction to yourself coming
Yeah.
on board as our correspondent. I really think there's a really cool play here just to learn more about you, and I think you're an absolute just hilarious individual based on your content that you do on Instagram, and we'll share that after this as well. Quick fire round, some questions. Best golf course on the LPGA calendar.
Oh, that we play every year. To be honest, it's probably Shadow Creek.
Okay. Hardest club to give advice for.
All of them.
One rule in golf you'd change tomorrow.
If you found cheating at the game, you should have both arms chopped off.
Love it. You're gonna love this one. Best caddy food.
Best caddy food. Well, the most commonly eaten is probably pizza. Because we're all
Cheap.
absolute athletes. And it's always washed down, usually with a light beer.
Just a light beer and just one.
Yeah, only one.
Yeah. Funniest player on the tour.
Funniest player. It'd be difficult to say. Probably, I mean, outwardly, it'd probably be like an Angel Yin. She's quirky.
Okay.
But sneaky, there's an Indian girl called Aditi Ashok, famously did very well a few years ago at the Olympics. For some unknown reason, whenever we play with her, she just likes to try and reel off dad jokes at me. And it's hilarious. Like, she finds them funnier than I do.
You're caddying for Jem. Shout out, Jem. How's she going to be doing over the next couple of weeks? You're saying she's doing really well at the moment.
Yeah, good. I mean, the nice thing is she's putting well and she's chipping incredibly well. I mean, we chipped him 5 times last week, which really helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she's putting and chipping well, and we had a kind of chat with one of her coaches I had a chat with her coach on Sunday night. She spoke to them on Monday. We went out there today and she was killing it. So Arizona doesn't usually suit her. So if we were to finish probably top 25, it'd be a really good week. But Shadow Creek is going to be so tricky for most girls, and it's all about chipping and putting. That's where we can hopefully have a good one.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for that, mate. I really do appreciate your time. I look forward to connecting over the next 1 to 2 weeks and trying to find our sweet spot when we catch up on these calls, and sharing a little bit more info about what's happening on the LPGA and hearing a few more funny stories along the way.